Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pope.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pope. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Let's see what's going on today. Today is the 6th of January, 2016. Our sun sign is in Capricorn and our moon sign is in Sagittarius. So let's take a look at that. Capricorn, as we know, is coming to an end in another week, 2 weeks. This is the card that represents Capricorn, the devil. It represents the earth, the material reality that we live in. The devil here is all about illusion. The block in front of him, the chain and everything is all because these two people, the male and the female, the conscious and the unconscious mind, have chained themselves to the block of ignorance because they believe that all there exists is the physical reality. Therefore, they are chained. They're trapped. There's nowhere for them to go because they don't understand that there's more than what they're seeing. The reality is there is a lot more, and the misuse of energy that goes along with this is because they are allowing the energy to come in through the wrong direction rather than coming in through the crown chakra. It's coming in through the root chakra first. Therefore, all of the things that they are doing are based upon the physical reality. This is our moon sign for today. This is the angel. Temperance, all about learning how to be balanced, how to temper the energy we have, how to have one foot on the land and one on the water, one in the unconscious and one in the conscious realm, so we can move through life. We have a battle going on between the angel and the devil right here. These are the two cards. These are the two aspects that we're dealing with today. Some of the aspects that are going on, we see that it was after midnight, 12:56 a.m., that we went into the sign of Sagittarius. 2:49 a.m., Mercury added some communication to the mix, probably in terms of our dream states. As we get into this afternoon, we're going to need to take a new perspective on things because the moon is going to be in a square saying there's a lesson that needs to be learned. We need to take a good hard look at what we're doing, look at things from different perspectives, because otherwise we get caught up in looking at things one way. Maybe things are different. We need to understand. 6:54 p.m. Venus is going to be conjunct, which means it's right next to the moon sign Sagittarius. And then later, 11:27, Saturn will also be in there. So if we look at where those are, let's see, first we have these two, and then later on, going to be this one and this one. Basically, conjunction means they're in the same house. It's like being at a party, and you're having a conversation with somebody you met there at the party. Okay, so the conversation is going on. Sagittarius wants to bring the truthfulness. Venus says, well, we got to use our imagination if we're going to try to get to the bottom of things. We have to love things, be creative. And Saturn down here tells us that we need to be focused. We need to discipline ourselves, discipline the way in which we are using our energy, and therefore we can be more effective. So this is what is going on for the course of today. When we look over at the moon is 12.8%. It's a waning crescent moon is all that's left. The new moon is on the 9th, 3 days from now. On the Jewish calendar, today is 25 Tevet, is the name of today, 25 Tevet. The daily thought is, what is love? Two people live together, care for each other, weather the storms together, and one day they discover they cannot live without each other. Fall in love, and you can fall out of love. Create love, and it will last forever. Mayan Oracle is a 5-tone day. We're on the wave spell of the wind. The wave spell of the wizard. The wizard is about timelessness. So this wave spell here, this theme is about timelessness. And today we're the radiating reflection of timelessness and how timelessness exists at all places. So we have the reflection today is the kin, the guide is the world bridger, the world of life and death, that bridge in between. Like-minded energy is the dragon, it gives birth. Challenge for today is shining the light within us, and the hidden power is the subconscious. The dreams, the power of dreams, and the abundance that comes from the subconscious realm. Altogether, the phrase for today is I empower in order to reflect, commanding order. I seal the matrix of endlessness with the overtone tone of radiance. I'm guided by the power of death. Solar wind is currently at 548.4 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is quiet at the moment. Next 24 hours, probably going to get up into a storm. Large coronal hole right in the middle, sending wind our way. So 6th and the 7th, which is today and tomorrow. M-class flare possibility sits at 1%. X-class also is at 1%. Geomagnetic storm activity seems to be pretty stable. In the mid-latitudes, it's staying about 40%, 20-25, dropping a little bit in the minor range. And then in the high latitudes, things are 60% in the severe range, minor range, 25 to 30, so it's a slight increase. So things right now seem to be pretty stable and shall remain that way. Just need to be aware of this storm coming our way, and that will affect everything once that hits. And then looking at the sky tonight, the 6th, this is an hour before sunrise. We got our moon below at Antares, Venus and Saturn down here. It says tomorrow morning the 6th, the waning moon stands above Venus and Saturn and Antares. So this is what we're looking here today. On Thursday morning the 7th, the waning crescent moon stands left of Venus, Saturn and Antares low into southeast. Okay, so we can see how it's going to move tonight. And today what we're looking at is here's where we're at. Okay. And that is our cosmic weather for today. That brings us up to UFO news. Let's do it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Today our first story has to do with the lights seen once again in Hessdalen, Norway. This time they were on the 1st of January. A video here, 2 minutes and 42 seconds in length. Captured by Street Cap 1. You know the name because Street Cap 1 captures a lot of images, a lot of stuff. Okay, and here we have a light over yonder. Okay, so let me just move things along a little bit. Okay, the question is, what is this light that keeps showing up here? Just keep watching, please. There he is, right there. Okay, so let me know what you think. I'm moving on to the next one here. This is conspiracy theorists claim UFO sighting over an active volcano is proof of aliens monitoring Earth. The video of fantastic light moving in the sky during the Christmas season has triggered much debate online since it was shared on social media. Webcams installed in Mexico caught the mysterious light moving erratically over Popocatépetl, an active volcano that lies in the states of Morelos, Mexico, and Puebla in central Mexico. Many people on social media said that the video showed a real UFO sighting and additional evidence of ETs monitoring planet Earth. Meanwhile, some skeptical viewers stated that the so-called UFO was just a flare of a firework. The debate got heated, particularly in YouTube, that the author deactivated the comment function. Okay, so first thing we know about this volcano is this is not the first time we have seen something. We could dismiss this if this was the first time, but we've seen many objects coming in and out of the volcano. So I think there's more to it than just, what are they saying here? I think it was fireworks. Yeah, I don't think this is a flare of a fireworks. It's just the skeptics. But skeptics usually think those kind of things. UFOs exposed during thunderstorm over Canberra, Australia. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. Okay, thunderstorm, and we'll see things here. There we go. It was there, now it's gone. So what was that? Any ideas? Looked like this one, it was all brightened out, so let me know what you think. Next one here, 2 UFOs caught over Thailand. There's a man takes a selfie. Alright, we see the objects up close, speeding across the sky. In this selfie, the eyewitness accidentally caught not one but 2 UFOs, one racing across the sky, the other holding its position. News says a Russian debris, but there's no way. So what we have here says China call Jar de Pimal spotted something hurling across the sky while he was filming himself with a selfie stick on Saturday the 2nd, 2000. There they are right there. He spun around to view what he thought was a meteor streaking through the sky above Phitsanulok province in Thailand. The National Astronomical Research Institute of Thailand said that the object was most likely debris from a Russian rocket leaving in early December and not a meteor falling to Earth. Parts of the rocket were predicted to land on the same day that he captured the video. Okay, so we could say it's that. We could say it's falling debris, or it could be something else. Check it out, see what you think. And one last story here. Okay. Hillary Clinton will reveal the truth about UFOs. She becomes the next president. The U.S. presidential aspirant Hillary Clinton has promised to get to the bottom of unidentified flying objects if she wins. Instantly, she believes extraterrestrials may have already visited humanity. While campaigning in New Hampshire, a journalist questioned her about UFOs, and she replied that she's going to dig to the bottom of it. If elected, she'll become the first female president in the U.S. Said that she would send a task force to Area 51, a top-secret military facility where UFO conspiracy theorists believe out-of-this-world technology is back-engineered. Okay, so Hillary Clinton is a bold-faced liar. Lies about everything. Lies, lies, lies. She's right now in a whole bunch of trouble with Benghazi, and she's, there's reports coming out about her mind, and ever since she had her illness, that she's caught up in the fog of war, she has forgetfulness and spells and whatever. Well, she's getting her butt kicked right now. So what's the best thing a politician does when they getting their butt kicked? They change the subject. So now Hillary suddenly is going to be the one who's going to talk about UFOs. I don't believe it. Don't believe anything that this woman says. If you choose to believe her, that's all you. I'm just saying this woman is so full of it that, it stinks just being around her. Just hearing her. She's so full of it. Anyway, that's what's going on with this woman. If you can believe it, it's up to you. If not, I'm just presenting you with the story and telling you what I'm thinking, that this woman is not an honest person, and I wouldn't trust a thing that she said. So she's just trying to be political, saying this is what's going to happen. Now, when someone like this does say something, what it does bring to mind is Project Bluebeam, some sort of staged event, because this woman's not doesn't have the clout to do what she says she's going to do. This woman is not trusted. So I'm going to leave that on before I get too much into a rant, because one thing that I really do not like are people that lie. I think that's just horrendous. And when they lie over and over and over again, and even worse than that, is you have people that believe the lies. That is the part that is mind-boggling. Why people choose to believe those who are lying to them, I never will understand that as long as I'm alive on this earth. Okay, there you go. That's our info for now. I'm going to jump away. I'll be back. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Great Spirit, send down your love, send down your love, send down your love to us from above. Great Spirit, send down your love, send down your love, send down your love to us from above. Oh, 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 oh. Great Spirit, shine down your light, shine down your light, shine down your light to light our way. Great Spirit, shine down your light, shine down your light, shine down your light to light our way. Oh, 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 oh. Great Spirit, show us the way, show us the way, show us the way to live in peace every day. Great Spirit, show us the way, show us the way, show us the way to live in peace every day. Oh, 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 oh.
All right. Continuing on. So, let's see. Where are we at here today? The last 2 days I didn't do a show. To tell you the truth, I just kind of was stuck. Stuck in not knowing really which direction I wanted to go. We started off, we did the goals. We're going to continue along that line. I believe it's very important. But the question came, what subject do I talk about? Do I talk about all the world events that are going on? Or do I talk about other things? I feel like I've talked about everything, every subject that's out there to some degree or another over these past 6 years. So I had to decide, am I going to get into what's going on in the news? Am I going to go through and regurgitate some of that info? And I just really don't know if I saw anything of value. I mean, what we have going on in the world right now, a little review, is just a whole lot of chaos. A whole lot of chaos. We got ranchers, which are standing their ground against governments which are trying to take land illegally. We have media which is portraying the ranchers out to be terrorists, even though they're standing up for Americans. We have refugees across the world which are going into countries and causing chaos, raping citizens there. We have leaders which seem to be turning a blind eye to all of this which is taking place, telling the people it's normal. We have a government here in America which we find from one person to the next. The administration is loaded with members who are Muslims and connected to the Muslim Brotherhood, a terrorist organization. On and on and on it goes. And yesterday we have the dictator in chief decides that he's going to try to impose some gun control laws and do some other nonsense, and then gets up there with his fake crying and all of the other nonsense that's involved. And American people, they're stuck. They don't know what to do. Don't know what to do because how do you get through these times? How do you figure your way out through all of this mess? It's kind of confusing. And therein lies the challenge. Because, see, to get caught up in all of that just means pulled into all of that drama, pulled into all of what's going on. But there's got to be more than that. Because remember, the physical world is an illusion, okay? All the things which I told you are part of this world of illusion, all of the nonsense that's taking place. But we need to look past that. We need to look past that and understand that there's a lot of good things that are going on every single day, but they're not getting publicized because drama is what sells papers. Drama is what gets people watching the news programs. And so all the good things that are going on get bypassed. And yet every day there's millions of people here in America and millions more on the earth which are working to do good things. So what we need to do is we need to find a way to turn away from all of the need that we have to want to listen to all the bad things. What's the point? Where does that get us? Doesn't get us anywhere except into more wars and more battles. And if anybody is believing anything this administration or these politicians there are telling you, well then I don't know what to tell you, because they lie over and over and over again. That's just the nature of what they do. So we're kind of on our own. Or are we? We're on our own, but we have God. And that's the important part, and that's the most important part, actually. Because with God, we can do anything we need. We can stand up against any of the challenges that are facing us. But then we have the battles over God. And therein lies another problem, that we fight with each other over stuff we shouldn't. So we need to figure things out. And the first thing we need to figure out and understand is that the politicians, they don't care about what's going on with the people in their countries, despite what they say, because if they did, their actions would be different. You don't let bad people into your country that are going to hurt the good people of your country if you really care. You don't send money all around to different places in the world and yet leave the people in your own country starving. That makes no sense. You find a way to take care of your own. And so what we have to do is we have to take care of each other. We have to take care of each other, and the way we take care of each other is by encouraging each other to be better. Because I believe that is our objective here on earth, to be the best that we can be. Are we supposed to be perfect? Maybe that is something we strive for, but we are not perfect beings. We're beings who are striving to be. And I think that's what makes us so wonderful, in that we strive to be better. We strive to do the right things. And in striving to do the right things and get better, we become better. And the world becomes a better place. So each and every one of us has the ability to start with themselves. And we start with ourselves first, because if we fix what's going on with us, if we get ourselves on the path that we need to be on, then we can surely help others do the same thing. Because otherwise it's just the blind leading the blind, and that really doesn't get us anywhere. So on New Year's Day, we went over a bunch of goals. And just to give a little refresher here, this was the list of goals and goal categories that were brought up. And I believe that if we all take a look at these sets of goals, these different categories, I think we make a big difference in our life. We all need to remember the spiritual. That's why it's first and foremost. We need to put God first. We live in the physical world, so we need to understand the needs and the goals that we have in this physical world. We're here. We need to be doing something while we're here. So we want to find things that are going to make ourselves better, challenge us. We need to deal with people when we're here, so it's important that we think about the relationships that we have. People we work with, people we're friends with, people we are involved in love relationships with. And then, of course, we all have these careers, these things we're working towards every day. So career is very important. So we all have a direction, a career. It's like sailing on the water, boat careers over the waves. And then, of course, the finances and the fun goals. And the fun goals are very important because we oftentimes forget to have fun in our lives. So these goal categories here are categories that everybody's life is going to be dealing with. So first thing we can all do individually is we find out how we can make ourselves better. We set some goals, and so the next step is, what do we do? What do we do now that we wrote those goals down on paper? Well, we work towards them one step at a time. There's a saying, by the inch it's a cinch, by the mile it's a trial. So we just take one little step every day along those goals. And if we do a little bit every day, pretty soon it adds up to quite a bit. So I brought up one article here. It's called Accomplishing Your Goals. So once you've done your work to identify your goals and the specific steps you can take to achieve them, there are a variety of things you can do to increase the chances you'll achieve those goals. 1, take ownership. Whether or not you achieve your goals is often largely up to what you do to make them happen. So make sure you're actively and consistently working to achieve them, and that you don't let others determine whether you are successful or not. However, in order for this to work, you must first make sure that your goals truly reflect what you want to achieve and are not primarily a function of others' wishes or expectations for you. Okay, it's a good point. We all need to look at what it is that we want, and we not to allow others to impose their wills upon us, because this is about each and every individual. So we have to start. My goals are my goals, your goals are your goals, our friends' goals are their goals. Ultimately, we find some common ground, all of that, but we all need to start with ourselves first and then work outward. Okay? To keep your goals on hand. Think of your goals often and keep them in mind when making decisions in your life, even those that don't seem directly related to the goal. Develop the necessary skills. Okay, all of the goals that you set require some sort of activity, some more skillful than others. So we need to be able to take time out. What that means is, if you want to do something, do a little bit every day. Get better at it. Maybe you're not good at it at the beginning. Maybe you want to learn to play an instrument. So every day you learn a little bit. 15 minutes. 15 minutes the next day. 15 minutes the next day. Pretty soon that all adds up and you're playing music, or whether it's writing, or whether it's playing a sport or an exercise. Whatever it is, you just do a little bit at a time. You develop the skills along the way, and pretty soon you find that you go from a position of not having the skills to do what you need to having the skills because you've developed them. And because you've developed the skills, you understand what it took to get there and how to repeat that process over and over again. Seek out support. It's very necessary. Friends, family, people that want to support us and see us succeed. But at the same time, these people can also be the same ones who can get in our way. So we want to make sure that we're not seeking somebody's approval so they can approve of our goals. We simply want to seek out support of those who want to encourage us along the way, and then we keep going. Oftentimes, others impose their ideas. If they didn't accomplish something, then apparently they can't imagine somebody else could, so they put that on somebody else. They put their lack of success on another individual, and that just brings that person down because they don't feel that they can do it. They've been, a hole's been put in their balloon. So when we have goals, it's important. Some goals you tell people. The give up goals, the things you're going to give up, tell people so they can hold you accountable. But other goals that take a little bit more of your personal belief, keep those to yourself. Only tell those and confide in those who are going to honor those goals. Otherwise, it's like having a balloon and you tell a non-believer and they put a little hole in that balloon, a little air escapes. And then you tell somebody else who doesn't believe, a little more air escapes. And pretty soon, the balloon is losing all kind of air because you have people who are non-believers, skeptics, who are chiming in on a situation they shouldn't be. So we have to understand that some of these things are private. We need to work on them ourselves to get better. We don't always have to reach out to others for approval of everything. Okay, so nice little article there. Just thought you might want to check that out. And just, take a step by step. These goals are very important. They're set for the year. You're not going to accomplish everything at once. Some of your goals are going to take longer than others. Some may take a full year to accomplish. Some may take months. Some may take weeks. Some may take days. Some may take hours. All variety of goals, and you all have goals. We all have goals that fit into every one of those categories. So we just simply need to move accordingly with them. So, as I've been looking at what we're going to talk about today, what I wanted to, switch gears to here, first thought came to mind was prayer. Prayer. Because in this world we're living in, prayer is what we're told is something that will benefit us greatly. So, let's take a look at prayer. Here's focusonthefamily.com. It says prayer and the difference it makes. Starting off with a number of biblical verses on prayer. Hear my prayer, O Lord, listen to my cry for help. Psalm 39. Luke 11:1. Lord, teach us to pray. John 17. After Jesus said this, he looked toward heaven and prayed. Acts 1:14. They all joined together constantly in prayer. Ephesians 6:18. And pray in the Spirit on all occasions with the kinds of prayers and requests. Thessalonians 5:17. Pray continually. Throughout the Bible, believers are called to pray, but what is prayer? What does it mean to pray without ceasing, and does prayer really make a difference? Before delving too deeply into the topic of prayer, it will be beneficial to first define the term as well as the focus of our prayer, God. So let us start with the second part. In order to develop a clear idea of prayer, we must first have a clear idea of God. Biblically speaking, God is a personal being. This is critical to prayer because it means that God is a person we can interact with, that He has a will, and that we are able to relate to Him on a meaningful level. If He were impersonal, then prayer would not be meaningful. If He were personal but uncaring and distant, prayer wouldn't serve a purpose. Not only is God personal, but He is also loving. This is also important in relation to prayer. If God were personal but uncaring or unkind, then prayer might do us more harm than good. But God is not only loving, but He is all-loving, omnibenevolent. In relation to prayer, this means that God always desires the best for us because He loves us. God is also all-powerful, omnipotent, meaning that no prayer is beyond His ability to answer, for nothing is impossible with God. If God were less than all-powerful, then we would have no assurance that He could answer or even hear our prayers. The fact that God is all-knowing, omniscient, is also significant to the concept of prayer. If God were limited, then He would not know all that is happening in His creation. And if this were the case, He might overlook our prayers because they might be beyond His knowledge. Fortunately, the Bible is clear that God knows everything. In relation to God's omniscience, Jesus said, "Your Father knows what you need before you ask Him." God is also wise and holy. He knows what is best for us, as well as what will lead us to holiness rather than sin. He's also immanent, meaning that God is active in His creation in a personal way, not only directing greater matters of history, but also involved in the life of everyone. This means that no prayer is too great for Him, but also that no prayer is too small for Him. While we cannot explore all of God's attitudes here, one to note of utmost importance to prayer is God's sovereignty. God is supremely in charge of everything that happens in the universe. Nothing takes Him by surprise, and nothing happens in our lives without the knowledge of God, even though we may not always understand His actions. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. And here, in responding to your prayers, then we are assured to do God's will. We are sure that God will do so on the basis of his many attitudes. His personal nature, love, power, knowledge, wisdom, holiness, eminence, and sovereignty all play a role in how we relate to God in prayer and how he relates to us. Now, what prayer is not. Now that we have a clear understanding of God's nature, it may be tempting to delve right into the definition of prayer. But let us take a look at what prayer is not. This is by no means an exhaustive list. Prayer is not magic. We cannot summon God as though he were a genie waiting to grant our wishes without regard for the circumstances or consequences. Prayer does not make demands. While we can make requests of God in prayer, we dare not make demands. God is the creator of the universe and does not take orders from us. Prayer is for our benefit, not God's. We need a relationship with God available to us through Jesus Christ and engage primarily through prayer because we were made to function best. We are in a proper relationship with our Creator. Prayer is not a guarantee against suffering. In this world we will have trouble. Dear friends, do not be surprised if at a painful trial you are suffering as though something strange were happening to you, but rejoice that you participate in the sufferings of Christ, that you may be overjoyed when his glory is revealed. And prayer is not an opportunity to show off. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in all the street corners to be seen by men. So what is prayer? Prayer is a relationship wherein we humbly communicate, worship, and sincerely seek God's face, knowing that he hears us, loves us, and will respond, though not always in the manner we may expect or desire. Prayer can encompass confession, praise, adoration, supplication, intercession, and more. In addition, our attitude to prayer is important. We must not be haughty, but humble. Seen in this light, to pray continually means, in one sense, that we must always strive to have a prayerful attitude. Our prayers must come often and regularly, not from legalistic duty, but from a humble heart realizing our dependence on God in every aspect of our lives. The rest of the articles in this series will further explore prayer as follows. Okay. So there's one article here. Let's go to another one. What is prayer? Prayer is the practice and the presence of God. Practice of the presence of God. It is the place where pride is abandoned, hope is lifted, supplication is made. Prayer is the place of admitting our need, of adopting humility and claiming dependence upon God. Prayer is the needful practice of the Christian. Prayer is the exercise of faith and hope. Prayer is the privilege of touching the heart of the Father through the Son of God, Jesus our Lord. The Bible speaks much of prayer, but sometimes, too often, we ignore prayer and seek to accomplish in the strength of our own wills those things that we desire to have or happen. For those of us who are too guilty of this, we need to bow our knees, confess our sins, receive God's forgiveness, and beg that the will of the Lord be done above our own. God is sovereign and loving, and he knows what is best for us and others, even if it doesn't always seem to make the most sense. Okay, let's go to another one here. Prayer. What is prayer? Talking with God. Prayer is a direct line with heaven. Prayer is a communication process that allows us to talk to God. He wants us to communicate with him like a person-to-person phone call. Cell phones and other devices have become a necessity to some people in today's society. We have Bluetooth devices, Blackberries, and talking computers. These are means of communication that allow two or more people to interact, discuss, and respond with each other. Too many people pray. Prayer seems complicated, but it is simply talking to God. Here are some points about what prayer is. The logistics. Many people question what is prayer because they desire to pray but don't know how. Consider these tips. What do I say? Praying is like talking to your best friend. It's easy to talk to someone when you know how to love them conditionally. How do I say it? Here's how I have learned to approach the Savior of my life: with confidence, with joy that he can deliver, with expectation. What is prayer and what does the Bible say? Pray for each other. Jesus set an example for us on what to pray. He prayed for his disciples, for every generation to come that would follow. His prayer was also that God protect and strengthen them as long as they were in this world. Jesus also prayed for those who would believe in him through the gospel message. Okay, and let me go on. I have pray with faith. It is impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that there is a God and that there is rewards those who sincerely seek him. All right, so there's more to these articles, but very important. We need to learn how to pray. And one of the words you heard used in association with this was humility. We all heard the term, or if you haven't, here it is. It's called pride cometh before the fall. Pride. Yet in prayer, it says we need to be humble. Humble means we put down our pride. We put down our arrogance and our belief that we know everything that's going on, to go to source that knows something more than we do. And we communicate with the source the way we would communicate with a mother or a father, a parent. When we read the words that Jesus speaks in the Nag Hammadi, from text to text, Jesus refers to God as the all-parent, the mother, the father. He doesn't give any specific names other than that, mother and father, God, the parent. And so if we understand what Jesus is saying, then we understand that we should be able to speak to God in the same way as if this is our parent. And a parent isn't going to come down on a child with a hard fist. Some of them do. Some parents are not very good at being parents. But a good loving father or parent is going to be someone that's going to be there for us if we have a problem. So we talk to them. And the longer and the more that we talk, the more we get a relationship with this individual. So we're able to communicate things differently. Think of how you communicate with your friends versus how you communicate with a stranger. The more you talk with God, the more God becomes a friend. The more you realize that God is more than a friend, because God has always been there. We just decide if we're going to allow this friend into our life or not. And that's really the decision, and that's what prayer strengthens, our friendship, our bond that we have with the Creator. So prayer is very important, and that's why I encourage and like to do a prayer with every show, a prayer and meditation, because I think that it's very important that we can change the world through doing something positive, because prayer puts positivity into the world. What's the alternative? To get caught up in all of the nonsense that's going on, to get caught up in the lies and the deceptions, and then to worry about what's going to happen? Or to flip the script and go to the side of prayer and belief and faith? That's the important part. We're told that there's a separation going on. What if the separation simply is in our decisions, which way we're going to focus our attention? It's like being at a fork in the road. Are we going to go down the side of the road and the fork that is talking about all the deceptions and the lies? Or are we going to go down the path that is the path of prayer, of love, of hope, positivity? And if it's that simple just to choose which path we go down, then we should all be able to make the choice. It's just the distractions in the world that try to teach us that there is something else out there, that try to deceive us. We have such fights in the world about what God is that we get confused. Many get confused and don't know what to do, because the term God has been misused by many groups who are not God-loving individuals, but simply using the term God as a political tool. So lots to think about, and that should be the first nature of prayer, to understand this connection, understand how we can step away from all of the distractions, while at the same time continue to live within this reality here upon this earth. So things to think about. Things to think about. Here's an article from In5D. Michelle Welling says, "Are you blessing your food the wrong way?" Thought this would be a really good article. Many people learned at a young age to pray or bless their food at the dinner table. While the traditional method of blessing food may be better than unblessed food, we haven't been taught why we should bless food and how. Most people simply go down the hatch without appreciation. But those who do bless their food miss a few extremely important steps. Why bless food? Eating blessed food can help aid in digestion and can aid your body in more positive ways. There are 4 good reasons why you should pay attention to the vibration of your food. 1, when a person prepares food, they are putting their energy into it. If you are eating out at a restaurant, if you take your spouse out, and if you had a bad day at work, you literally take on the vibration of the food preparer. 2, an energy connection is made with everything we touch, especially living foods. Every person that touches a piece of fruit of the orchard or the garden in the store, and even the checkout person, puts their energy into your produce, whether you realize it or not. No one has ever taught us in school that our food carries a myriad of energies from everyone that comes in contact with it, but this is usually a negative vibration more than a positive one. Much of our food is tainted through pesticides and genetic modification. We have more power than we think when it comes to modifying our food's vibrational level, so that helps us rather than to poison us. And 4, the majority of animals are not raised in good conditions. Daily dairy products and meat carry the vibration of the animal, especially to the point where they are killed. Now, you may recall there were some exercises that were done in order to see what would happen if one used positive words in describing their food. And it says Dr. Maso Emoto's studies with water and ice crystals have given the world evidence that vibrations affect the structure of food and water because it has consciousness. If Dr. Emoto proved that thoughts, intentions, and words can have a desired effect on water through his ice crystal experiments, then the same should go for food. When eating something that has been given high vibrations, it will in turn affect the water in your body. Blessing your food can truly change the energy structure and the energy state of the food before ingesting it, thereby affecting the structure of your body cells in a more positive way. And then finally it says traditional food blessings. People who give thanks through prayer before a meal are putting positive vibrations into the food with gratitude. If you have been in the habit of traditional prayer at the dinner table, I invite you to look at the motions of prayer in order to maximize your food's vibration. Some people begin praying by holding each other's hands and closing their eyes. Just by joining hands, you're already making an energetic connection to your family member, and you will either give them your energy, take their energy, or both. Other people may bow their head, close their eyes, clamp fingers together, closing the energy flow from their fingers. One person is usually the chosen one to say a prayer. Many times a prayer has been said so many times that the words become autonomous, spoken without feeling. Here's a new way to bless food. One effective way is for each person to put their own energy into their own food. It is a good idea before you start blessing that your legs are not crossed and your feet are on the ground. When you are putting thoughts and intentions of raising the vibration of your food, your hand should be held over your food because energy runs through your arms, out your palms and fingers. Energy also comes out of your eyes. Therefore, it is a better idea to look at what you are blessing while talking directly to your food. Without crossing the line to religious or spiritual debate, I will simply state that once you realize who you really are and what you're capable of, you do not need to pray to be an outside force to bless your food. You do not need to pray to an outside force. The love and the gratitude that you carry inside of you is enough to raise the vibration of your food, water, and even your own body. So an example of raising food vibration, it says to start you could close your eyes in order to ground and clear your mind, but then open them before focusing on your food. However, closing your eyes is not necessary in order to become centered or grounded. Gratitude and love hold the highest vibrations. Hold your hands over your food and imagine rays of sunshine coming from your heart into the food. Truly speak from the heart and try not to get caught up in the trap of monotonous prayer. You can change up your blessing for each meal you have, individually giving the various types of food. Thank the animal if you're eating meat, chicken, or fish. Ask for your food to serve you in the highest and best interest of your body. Tell your food how much you love it, especially if this is one of your favorite dishes. Get as creative as you like, but it doesn't need to be long and drawn out. I strongly discourage you from eating in front of the TV, but if you do, try to at least bless your food somewhere where the TV is not on. And better yet, if you are the food preparer, begin your blessings in the kitchen. The cognizant raising of vibrations of the food being prepared for others is acceptable, as it helps their highest good to receive your love and gratitude rather than all the energy that was previously attached to the food. Of course, you can also bless your water or anything you drink as well. And finally, at the breakdown of the word blessing, it encourages us to be less. Eventually, we will have new words that empower us rather than make us less. We have a standing joke here at BodyMindSpiritSoul.com headquarters. When one of us sneezes, we say, "Move to you" instead of "be less you." Be creative and do not be afraid to change the rules every now and then. Okay, very interesting, good article. Good article, and it's important. I think that certainly a starting point for the year of really looking at, and these are things we do all the time, but we remind ourselves of why we do some of these things, what are the benefits, and certainly blessing our lives, blessing the foods, all very important. Again, all related to prayer. Here's Archangel Gabriel and a message for today.
Archangel Gabriel Daily Message Tuesday, January 5th, 2016. By Shelley Young. So many of you try to communicate with us and get frustrated if you cannot hear us. We have much to say about this topic. We are always available to you, and love to connect with you. Your requests are always heard, and always responded to. Even if you cannot hear us, we are answering you through signs, through feelings, and through assistance behind the scenes. If you ask a question of us and don't feel like you have received an answer, know that it is coming. You may find yourself on a new web page. The perfect book could find its way to you. You will run into the exact person who can help you. You could move into a sudden knowing of what you need. You could find signs such as feathers, coins, songs, angels, butterflies, birds, or any other thing that feels magical or significant to you, to help guide the way. For those of you looking for more of an actual conversation with us, please understand that those interactions are telepathic. You must trust and allow it to flow, and pay attention to where it comes from. Your own inner voice tends to come from within your own head. Divine transmissions, when you pay attention, will come from above and outside of you, often from slightly to the left. Even if you feel like not one thing is happening in your attempts, please know that you could be being energetically adjusted so that you are moved into a better alignment to allow communication to occur. This is a wonderful thing, but it can take some time, so trust in the process. The last thing we wish to say is to have fun and be easy with yourselves in the process. Flow. Allow your imagination free rein, as your imagination is the bridge to the psychic part of your mind. Do not be too concerned at the beginning about whether something is just your imagination, as your imagination is a vital part of the process. Eventually something will happen that surprises you, and that will be when you know it is not your imagination any longer and you have moved into the realm of psychic experience. Rest assured, we are available to each and every one of you to communicate with if that is something you desire. Archangel Gabriel.
All right, good message. So let us close our eyes and take a deep breath and exhale. Take another deep breath and exhale again. And just let yourself continue to breathe, breathing in and out slowly. And just imagine the world all around you. And imagine all of the events of the world happening. The good, the bad, the things that are understood and the things not understood. All sorts of energies and ideas moving around. And there we are in the midst of it. So let us pray, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, open our minds that this day we might understand the path that you have set before us, that we might see clearly this day how to move through all of the challenges of the world, and to remain focused on the highest ideals. We pray that each and every individual on this earth is able to find the peace and comfort of understanding the bigger picture, and that we are able to be strengthened, that we may move away from the temptations that move in the paths before us. Let us see ourselves walking along a path, and let's just imagine this bubble of protection around us. And this bubble of protection comes from each one of us as we fill ourselves and imagine all the energy flowing through us. And as we move through life with this bubble of protection around us, we find it seals out all of the distractions so we can stay focused. And we find that this energy goes out into the world and is shared with others, that they too might find a way from the distractions. And so we keep moving through the world, unaffected by all the distractions, focused on what it is we need to do, focused on hearing the words of the Creator as they speak to us in all manner. And so as we go into the world today, we pay close attention to the people that we meet, to the things that we do or see, the things that we hear, and we understand they are all aspects of the divine moving through life. And we listen for the messages and the words and the clues that are given to us in each and every moment. And let us just go forth this day to send out positivity to each and every one, knowing that we are all in this together and we are all feeling the effects of the challenges that are facing the world. And as we send positivity to each and every one, we find ourselves encouraged that no matter how things are, things will be better. No matter how dark it appears, that light is available for all. And so just imagine ourselves walking on the path, sending out light and love, sending out positivity. Let the subconscious mind continue on that journey, and let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's the show for today. I think between goals and then prayers, I think we put ourselves on the path to have the success we want to have in life, to avoid all of the distractions and the temptations that are out there. Remember, things are not always as they appear to be. Sometimes life brings us challenges that we might move past these challenges and therefore become even better than we were before. So challenge yourself today. See if you can find a way through the issues you're having to get some clarity. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. Till then, you have an awesome day. I love you. Keep loving each other. Peace. I'm out of here.